Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there is a storm coming up, and I mean actually a physical storm where I live, and I realize that you've heard electric razors on my channel, you've heard tornadoes, sirens, you've heard blowers, lawnmowers, but I don't think you've heard thunder yet. And so I decided to start this right about the time when I started hearing the thunder. Okay. Today is an interesting day. As I've been saying on this channel, we are seeing a cascade of financial news media begin to finally cover digital assets. This Libra coin thing has really thrust digital assets into the spotlight. And so I've shown you a lot of CNBC, but I saw this one today, and this was on Fox Business. This is from Invest Diva. Should you worry about cryptocurrencies killing the U.S. dollar? Here's, let's see who this is. Author of Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies. Take on it on Fox Business. Neil Cavuto's on Cavuto, coast to coast, as Facebook's Libra faces bipartisan pushback. Now, this exchange was more or less, he's skeptical. Neil Cavuto appeared pretty skeptical, just like many of these traditional financial people do. And it was the standard money laundering and ooh, this is scary type stuff, or could this replace the U.S. dollar? Do we need to be scared of this? And she made some good points. She said, well, yeah, if you're going to get rid of cryptocurrencies because you're worried about money laundering, then you may as well get rid of dollars and cars and internet and everything else, because every new technology will enhance bad guys' ability to do what they do. There's always going to be bad guys, and the solution is not to not have technology because bad guys will use it. And she was making that point. But the bigger point is, now crypto's on Fox News. I mean, every day now. We're on CNBC, crypto's on Fox. It's everywhere in the media, and that is going to push along. It's going to bring Wall Street in. It's going to bring the investors with Wall Street. It's all happening right now, folks. Okay, now, and this was the actual thing here. Okay, now I wanted to give credit here because I got a better. Gator Trader was the first person to send me the Brad Garlinghouse interview, and make me aware of it. And so I wanted to give a shout out. As much as I can't stand the Florida Gators, because I went to Auburn University, I am an Auburn Tiger. I am not a big fan of the Florida Gators, especially back in the 90s when we had to play them in football and get our butts handed to us quite often. At FL Gator Trader. So I can overlook it since they sent me this information. Okay, now, for those of you that don't know, out of nowhere today, come on, I don't want to play that. Pause. Okay, sorry. Today, Brad Garlinghouse was on. Well, I didn't mean for the ad to run. Let me finish running the ad, and then maybe I can get through this. Once the ad comes through, you'll see Brad Garlinghouse, and then we can. Okay. I just wanted to show you Brad Garlinghouse on here. He was interviewed on CNBC today, and I wanted to show you this too, because look what they did again. They put Ripple and XRP. They've actually got these things in the right order. They're pumping up Litecoin because it's been doing well, and so I think that's normally when CNBC talks about digital assets is when they're increasing in price. But Brad Garlinghouse was on CNBC, and there's two major takeaways. The first, for me, the first thing that I thought was pretty big was that Brad Garlinghouse really went after Facebook and Libra. And basically, and I'll give you the quote here in a minute, but he, in so many words, he said the way they introduced their digital asset, Libra, was pretty arrogant. And the second thing that I would take away from this is the fact that he used the term level playing field, used the phrase level playing field. And at this point, this is not a coincidence. XRP is the level playing field, in my opinion, and I think they've been working on this for quite a while, personally. Now, that's me talking. Okay, now, this was what Ripple tweeted out about it. There's a huge opportunity to change the way financial systems work that is very beneficial to consumers and businesses, but it's not competing with the banks. So, as I've told you so many times on this channel, I placed my bet on XRP because I thought the way Ripple was going about this, going to the governments and regulators and not being arrogant, as he says, of the way Facebook did, is the way to go. I think that history, not even history, I think we are seeing right now, we're in the midst of seeing that those of us that placed our bets on XRP were right. And I believe that in time it will translate in the price of XRP because they did the right thing and went to regulators and they were not arrogant about it. Okay. And next, this was what he said exactly. He gave his take. It says, perhaps some Silicon Valley arrogance is what he called it, with the rollout the way Libra did it. Silicon Valley arrogance. All right. Now, this sums up what I believe Ripple has just done. If you've watched the last week, this is a tweet I tweeted out today. I believe Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse have positioned themselves perfectly. So now you have, in the eyes of the regulators of the world, whether it's United States, everyone, they see Bitcoin as this anarchistic thing. This is anti-government. That was its birth. It's not regulated. You've heard Trump say that. And then you have Libra, as Brad Garlinghouse said, they came out in an arrogant way. There was legislation that we've looked at by Maxine Waters that said that she wants to ban big tech from being able to put out digital assets. So I said Libra represents arrogant big tech corporate sponsored. And then you have XRP, who went to the regulators to begin with. It's a regulated bridge currency between banks, central banks, corporates. These are the walled gardens, the banks, central banks, corporates. And then you have XRP, which is regulated because it went to the regulators. It took care of that business before they didn't just come out and say, hey, we're going to be a digital asset. They went to the regulators. All right. And here's a little bit of humor from Tian Fury, who reminds me of the boxer who, that big, huge boxer. He put out this graphic. I thought it was funny. It says, can you smell what the Brad is cooking? And it's got Brad in that interview with his eyebrow going up. And okay, next from Lionel at Lionel 462-94550 from the IMF. This was 30 minutes ago. How do the different means of payment compare? Our chart highlights 4 attributes: type, value, backstops, and technology. Now, they call it money trees. Now, to me, the one digital asset that we know for a fact, the one digital asset the company who's working on the #1 use case for XRP is Ripple. And Ripple is the one organization having to do with that digital asset who has met with the IMF multiple times. So I don't think it's a coincidence that XRP is the one digital asset that is not put on the chart. They even have gold on the chart. They've got USD coin, True USD, Paxos, gold coins, Libra. They've got Bitcoin mentioned, but they don't mention XRP. Just like no one will say Ripple and XRP, they don't mention XRP. I think that's great. Okay, now this is big, folks. We went over this morning. This is the biggest news of the day besides Brad being on CNBC. I talked about this morning. Japan has FATF green light to create SWIFT network for crypto. All right. And this guy puts this out for today. How perfect is this? And I wanted to read you, this is from back in January 31st. I guess that's, January 31st of this year. This was a video, and it's actually got the CEO of SBI Holdings speaking in the video. This is worth your time, folks. So here we go. His quote, merge R3 and Ripple and make sure XRP is practically used. And then Swift have run, let me make sure I pause this. Swift have run out of options. Swift have given up on what they actually can do internally. We have to have a global standard. If you use Corda's settler with XRP embedded in it, so that's good for Ripple. For Corda R3, it's win-win. And we, SBI, are the largest shareholders of both. And then it goes on. And he says here, my dream is to have this adopted as a regional currency in Osaka by 2025. So this guy right here basically has a consortium that controls 80% of the banks in Japan. And with that announcement today of them creating a replacement for Swift, if Ripple and Corda and R3, Corda Settler and XRP were nowhere involved in that announcement from today, it would be one of the craziest coincidences on the planet if they weren't. Okay, and then from Sergeant Obi-Wan, this kind of goes hand in hand too. Fund manager, U.S. might have already lost crypto innovation race. I'm in agreement. Just my opinion. I think all this waiting around to pass Token Taxonomy Act, this Libra mess is leaving U.S. behind. And here's the article. I wanted to just read this part. Crypto fund manager Brian Kelly worries that it might already be too late. He pointed out on CNBC that while traveling the world, he can't help but notice that other countries are way ahead of the U.S., saying the U.S. may have already lost the race. It's very concerning to me. Asia is eating the U.S.'s lunch. The U.S. is the center of finance. We should take the lead in it. Folks, if you don't think this is good for you and I as XRP holders, because they're going to hit the accelerator button, and you're going to see the U.S. And all this is going to do is it's going to propel this more and more and more into the media. CNBC should change the first C in their name and call it the crypto NBC. That's what it should be called from now on, because this is coming on strong. And also from Sergeant Obi-Wan, Cleveland basketball team collaborates with United Coin crypto platform. So now we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers getting into crypto. And finally, folks, this has nothing to do with crypto, or does it? Because here, some of the most powerful people in the world are about to go down. And I believe that this is going to affect finance, politics, and everything. It's going to be staggering. Epstein Associates prepare for worst as massive document dump imminent. U.S. Court of Appeals to release 2,000 pages of docs revealing sex crimes committed by prominent American politicians, business execs, foreign leaders. And it says foreign presidents, a well-known prime minister, and other world leaders. This right here is going to have an effect on everything, I think. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family to tune into this, because you're about to see some fireworks around the world with this whole Epstein case, this child pornography ring or whatever it is. Thanks for listening.